Hello coffeeholics, welcome back. If you have a coffee shop, this is a very useful video tutorial for you to watch. Well, how much espresso do you actually use for different cup sizes? This is the first of two episodes that I'm going to make. First episode, I will show you how much espresso goes into hot espresso drinks, and the second episode is how much espresso for iced drinks, depending on the cup sizes. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is for my hot espresso drinks. For this, I'm going to use my house blend, which is 100% high quality single origin coffee bean, medium roast. For today's episode, I'm going to make 4 cup sizes. I'm going to make them in 6 ounces. I don't have takeaway cups, so I'm going to use my ceramic cups. I'm going to make them in 8 ounces, and then we're going to make 12 ounces, and God forbid, I'm going to make them in 16 ounces. I don't know who actually drinks this large cup, but anyway, for those that are offering all of these hot drinks in takeaway cups, you probably have all these sizes. So let's find out how much espresso actually goes into each one of these cup sizes. Now, different coffee shops will have different ways or different amount of espresso that they use. If you're from my part of the world in Thailand, we like our coffee quite strong, so I will go with a bit more on the strong side or more espresso. But if you are from other parts of Asia where it is preferable to have not too strong coffee, then it will have to be less espresso. But today I am going to show you my recommended amount of espresso for each of these cups. You can adjust according to your customer preferences and for your market area. For 6 ounces, I normally go for 1 shot, that is 30 grams of espresso, and if at all possible, use a double basket, 18 grams to 20 grams of coffee in. For 8 ounce, I use a double Ristretto, a shorter shot. I would go for about 45 grams, again for the same amount of coffee beans, 18 to 20 grams. For 12 ounces, I use double shot of espresso, so 60 grams, and for 16 ounces I use a long shot, which is 75 grams for the same amount of coffee beans. Now you know how much espresso goes into each of these drinks. The next question is, how do they taste? Because obviously if you use a larger cup, you will use more milk. So let's find out how they taste like. Okay, now let's make our drinks, starting with the 6 ounces cup. Now for a 6 ounce cup, I usually use 1 shot or 30 grams, but I pour a double shot of espresso split into 2 cups. Now for the milk, I would suggest that you use a steaming pitcher, which is about 300 milliliters. This is good enough for a 6 ounce cup. This looks like a perfect shot, 30 grams of espresso, and now to pour the milk over. Next, let's pull our espresso shot for an 8 ounce cup. For the 8 ounce, I'm going to pull a double Ristretto, 45 grams of espresso or Ristretto pulled within the specified time frame, which should be no more than 29 seconds. To steam the milk for an 8 ounce cup, I would also suggest that you use a smaller pitcher, 300 to 350 milliliters. And now to pour my latte into my double Ristretto. Next, we're going to make a 12 ounce cup. For the 12 ounce, I'm going to pull a double shot of espresso, full 60 grams, using 18 to 20 grams of coffee beans, and pull this within 35 seconds. For me, it's okay to pull a double shot within 35 seconds. So I am getting it at 33 seconds, not too bad. To steam the milk for a 12 ounce cup, I would suggest that you use the larger steaming pitcher. I normally use a 450 or 500 milliliter steaming jug, and then it's time to pour the milk into my double shot of espresso. And finally, for our 16-ounce cup. For this, I'm using 18 to 20 grams, more 20 grams than 18, and I'm going to pull a long shot, 75 grams of espresso, pulled within 35 seconds. You don't want to pull it longer than 35 seconds, otherwise your coffee could end up bitter. It is looking good, 75 grams of espresso. Now to steam the milk, I would suggest that you use a larger steaming pitcher, even larger than the earlier one, and this should be about 600 milliliters. I personally find it harder to steam with a larger pitcher, especially if you're not using an automatic steaming one. It takes a little bit longer to steam the milk because this is a larger cup, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Now, to pour my milk onto my Lungo shot, 70 grams of espresso. Very slowly. I'm not sure if I can make it good enough, but this is all I can manage. I need a jug of water here to make me give these a try and find out which one I like the most. Well, I am all for smaller cups, and this is honestly the first time I poured latte art on a 16-ounce hot espresso drink. I'll start with my 6-ounce, which I think is quite manageable. So this was 1 shot of espresso, 30 grams split into 2. I love the taste of this coffee. It is smooth. The taste of the coffee is strong. The aftertaste of the coffee is there, and this is probably what I would normally drink. Now I'm going to try it with a slightly bigger cup, which is the 8-ounce cup here, and give it a try. Wow. This is a double shot. It's a Ristretto, 45 grams, 18 grams of coffee beans in, and I must say, for this, I kind of like this better. It's a stronger coffee, of course, smoother, and as long as you pulled your espresso shot within the time frame, in this case, it is within 25 seconds. This is absolutely perfect for me. And now I'm going to try the larger cup, which is 12 ounces. Using the ceramic cups make me realize that they are very large, but if you use those paper cups, they are also quite large, to be honest. Okay, now my 12-ounce cup. This is double shot of espresso, 60 grams of espresso here. I could still taste the coffee. It's very strong, and the milk is also complementing the taste of my coffee. How am I going to differentiate this with my 8 ounces and my 6 ounces? So far, I think this is like quite balanced, well balanced. Not strong coffee, nor overpowering milk. Not too bad. Now for my final cup, which is the 16 ounces. Obviously, this is the first time I poured it in 16 ounces, and also, obviously, this is the first time I'm going to try it in this size of cup. 75 grams of espresso, that means it's a Lungo, using 18 grams of coffee beans in. It is nice and warm. It is also good, I must say. Well, it really depends on how much caffeine you need for the day, but they are all absolutely amazing. I would say it really depends on what size your customers want, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with any of these sizes. And if you use my recommended dosage for each of these cup size, you probably will find out that they are perfect. Well, that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions about these recipes, do let me know. And as I have said earlier, you can adjust the amount of espresso, whether you pull a Ristretto shot a full espresso shot, double shot, Lungo, it really can be adjusted according to your coffee beans, according to your preferences, and also according to the cup sizes. If you have any questions, do let me know, comment below. I'll see you again for more of these video clips. Part 2 of this series will be how much espresso should go into each of 3 different cup sizes for iced coffee drinks. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Ciao for now.